Howdy, howdy, everybody. I appreciate you stopping by. The second part of the out of body series I'm teaching how to do is the first one part was relaxation. Now, and when you get into out of the relaxation end of it, the vibes are hopefully going to come your way, and that's a topic we're going to cover today. And like I say, I hope you excuse me. I'm not a professional public speaker. I don't do a lot of organization on this. I don't do a lot of anything like that. So I'm just kind of like we're talking together as you and me across the table. So I'm going to stutter and I'm going to look at notes once in a while, and hope you don't mind that. But the vibes are something that is to me like an old friend, because an old friend allows you, well, this old friend allows me to have an out-of-body experience. I have to go through the vibes, or as I call them, the vibes, to get out. And so what it's like is they start off as after the relaxation. They'll start off and they'll be really usually light. They'll be usually throughout your whole body. They'll start out slow. Sometimes they'll start out at somebody's feet or something like that, and then they'll slowly, as you entice them to mentally, they'll increase, go up through your whole body. So anyway, so that's what they do. Now the problem is, not really a problem, but especially for people that are new at this, they start off and they're like they sound a big loud sound. And it's like an electric motor, like a refrigerator motor, if you ever heard those in real low, you know. And it'll start out mild, usually. And they'll pulsate. They'll have like a pulsation, like a, and to top the whole thing off, you feel like you're got your finger in a light socket. I mean, not to that extreme, but you know how you'll feel electrical current rushing through your body. And you have to get them a really good high level before you're going to get out. You have to go through this. So when you do that, you have to entice them to get bigger or louder, and they do. And they get loud and louder and louder, and they shock it stronger, and it's freaky. Pulsation gets faster, and pretty soon especially for the new people, it's really scary, sometimes terrifying. They don't know what's going on, and then even if you know, it's something, because it is really a physical thing. It's not, it's only happening to you. Only if somebody was watching you, when you're doing it, sleeping, or not sleeping, but going through it, they wouldn't see anything. You're not really shaking or anything, but boy, you feel it. And basically that's your physical body, your astral body, leaving your physical body, and when it starts that vibration, and it'll be on the way back in too. So actually, but whenever the spirit actually leaves your body completely, they stop instantly. So that's a really good thing to know. So if they'll usually start, like I said, on your whole body, and they'll entice and they'll get larger and larger and larger, and then from your feet down, or if your feet start out with them, entice them to get through your body. You want your whole body to be encased in something like this, not just. And I know that I had my first situation with them before I ever had my first out of body experience. I was laying in bed one night. I was doing never been out, and never experienced anything like this, and I was laying in bed, and the wife's in bed, middle of the night, and and I'm doing my relaxation, and I got through that and was really relaxed, and all of a sudden I blanked out. I blanked out for just a second, which you'll do a lot of times, and woke up, and I had this vibration feeling, just what I'm telling you about, slow, but it was loud. It was like the sound was pretty loud. And the vibrations were fairly slow. But anyway, but I knew what it was, and I decided, well, I'll keep going, so I enticed them to get bigger, which they did. And man, when they get going, I mean, it'll scare the hell out of you if you're not used to it. And it'll, because there's something you really want to know that's going to be coming your way, and even when it does, You got to be ready for it. But anyway, so I was all of a sudden, I'm getting louder and louder and louder in the vibrations. I get a little nervous, and I kept remembering. All of a sudden, my right arm would raise up, and I kept saying, "What?" By itself, and I pull it down, and then it would raise up again. As soon as I took the pressure off it, it just go back up and everything. So anyway, I don't know why, but I was really concentrating on the get stronger and stronger. But for some reason, they faded out, not shut off instantly, but they faded out. And that was my first experience. And the reason my arm was floating up, it was my astral arm, and because my physical arm was under the covers. So in other words, I was starting to float out, but rather than my whole body floated out, only a limb. And this will happen a lot of times. You'll have a leg start floating up, and your body still, your energy body is coming up, your legs coming out or arms coming out, and sometimes you'll have to sit there, keep mentally trying to decipher yourself to get out of body, keep helping it mentally help. I want to get all out, start imagining yourself getting, the whole body getting out, but that's later. If they start off in the foot, like I said, you gotta entice them mentally. You want all your body to be engulfed in vibrations, in the sound, so welcome this on as best you can. It's something that, like I said, is an old friend of mine, and they're going to be a friend of yours. And don't be scared. Nothing's going to happen to you. You're not going to have a heart attack or nothing like that. You're not really getting electrocuted, but that's the way it is. I know Robert Monroe. He used to, and he's a master, or was a master, and he used to play with him. I don't know how long he played with him, but there in his book, first book, he talked about how he had them rolling up and down like an ocean wave. That they would go down and up, and he would play with them. He would stop where the vibration was stronger, and then move it down and back. So that was something that was pretty interesting, for me. I don't do that because I just want to get down to it. I want to get the vibrations in, get them over, and get out. I don't want to play around. But he did, and he's a master, and who am I? So what turned him on is, I respect that. I gotta check my little. Okay, and. Let's see here. I got to check my notes. I don't here. Float out. I think of exit. Okay, now. So let's say the vibrations are going strong. You've got them really good. You're and you're keeping your mind straight and everything like that. And you're not exiting. You're not floating up. You're not going. You're just. But you're pretty strong. What you want to do then is to think of whatever exit you're going to do, which I have to teach you about later. But like if you're going to the floating up method, you got to start there. In time you'll know about where you have to be vibration wise. So when you think you get there, start thinking about I'm lifting up. If the floating up or lifting up is the technique you're going to use, for example, kind of imagine going to the ceiling or something like that, and really imagine your body floating up. And then, hopefully, your body will start to respond to what you want it to do. Now, if you're going to do a target method, which I haven't taught you about yet, which is where you imagine going to somebody or to something or something like that, start imagining. Like if you're going to go, your dad's house or something. You're picturing your dad or, picture him. Picture, his face and the way he feels and smells or whatever. And you'll end up, hopefully, you may black out for a split second, or you may not, or you just may shoot off and in a real big flurry of wind and sound or whatever, you'll talk about this later, or we'll talk about this later. And so that's what you have to do. If you don't get out right away, like I said, if you don't get out, do that. Keep on going with it. Keep thinking about your exit. I call it an exit plan, or the technique of where you're going to go, and that should hopefully help you out. A lot of times when you're when you're new at it, you'll think about you'll be really thinking about making them stronger. and they'll just start fading away. I don't know. It happens. It still happens to me a lot. Of course, I don't do it that much anymore, but they'll start to fade away, and you'll sit there, come on, and I don't know. Maybe there's a fear there, something like that. Now the fear thing is, I have to talk a little bit more about the fear thing. Fear in out of body is something that can really hold you back. Even just getting out of body, getting the vibes, anything like that. Your body senses, your mind senses when you're really fearing something. And if you're really fearing on getting out, in my opinion, your brain doesn't want you to get out because it just wants you to get scared. So it's kind of a iffy thing, but to me, I'm no master at this, and I'm not somebody that does it every single time you want to sit down and do it. No, I'm not that guy. I'm not your guy. I don't know how many of those people are really around anyway. But you'll have a lot of failed attempts where the vibes may come in, fade away, do what they're going to do. So keep hanging in there and keep trying to get your we'll keep getting them. Just keep making them stronger. And as you get into having them more, you'll have a little bit less fear. So I think that's something to remember. Always remember that. I got to check my notes here again. Okay. Yeah, and sometimes, which happens to me pretty regular, you won't even go into the vibes. In other words, I'll be doing my relaxation, and I'll get real relaxed, and I'll get right there, and I'll black out first. Now, this isn't like you're going to sleep and having a dream. This is like a, and if I'm like doing the target method, like I was, one time I was going to see my mother, and I just blacked out, and boom, immediately I was by my mother. So in that case, which is more on the rare side, but it does happen quite a bit. You'll bypass. The vibes are still there, but you blacked out so fast. Mentally you didn't pick them up or whatever. So you have to realize that you may not always have the vibes. So let me get another one of my little. Okay. And the last thing I got to say about the vibes is that, let's see, what's the best way to do it? When you come back, a lot of times when you come back, in fact, most of the time when you're having an out-of-body experience, when you're sent back, either on your own, you want to go back, or the body pulls you back, you'll feel the vibes. And it's like I said, as when you're lifting out, when there's movement between your energy body, your spirit, your astral body, when you're moving out, that's when you have them. Once the body is the spirit is out, they're gone. But it's the same thing when you're coming back. It comes down, and there's that little, until it gets settled in there, you'll have the vibrations. Now sometimes if it's a big hard jerk, like if your physical body heard a dog bark and it yanked it back in, it would be in so fast you wouldn't feel it. But generally, all my out of bodies, when I come back, I'm vibrating, and I'll vibrate for maybe a minute. I'll be vibrating, and but it's not going to be a real hard vibration usually. It's kind of a mild one. It's not like it was when you're leaving. So I'll be and you kind of feel like you're kind of paralyzed. Your body's and it only takes a minute for that to leave. So I'll be sitting there for like about 30, 40 seconds, maybe a minute, and I'll be vibrating a little bit, and I'll have, and you can, and like I said, this isn't something that, is it really happening? Hey, it's happening. I mean, but it'll fade away. And being the paralyzed thing fades away too, about the same time. But if it really scares you, it's no big deal to get out of the paralyzed thing. Just wiggle your toe or finger or something like that, and because you can usually do that, and then start to wiggle your foot, but I don't mind to sit there. I enjoy it. I just because it doesn't feel bad. So anyway, that's about what the vibes are. I've read a lot about, heard a lot of people and about what they exactly what they are and what causes them, and the spiritual side. And I'm a kind of an idiot. All I know is they work, and I'm not haven't been that curious about what they are, how they work, and anything like that. I'm just a blue collar guy, and I just do what works, and I don't really care, about why they exist, what's happening. So there's a lot of other. If you want to get into that more, there's I'm sure a lot of videos. There's books. I have a lot of books too. That I browse over that. But if you wanted to learn about it, there's a lot of other books and people that know about it, and they can you can find out exactly the exact thing about what causes them and stuff like that. But anyway, that's my deal. The next video I'm going to do on the regards to this is the lifting out and the fear involved in that, and what to expect and how to get clear-headed. So that's going to be the next one. It'll be step number 3. But anyway, I appreciate you stopping by. Like or subscribe if you feel like it. And I hope you don't mind my unprofessionalism here, because I'm not the greatest. But I'm trying to do the best I can. So thanks again. Have a good day. Bye.